Those Were the Days is filmed before a live internet audience.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Those Were the Days, the show where we watch old TV and then get surprised when things get a little bit racist. My name is Amy, and I am the host this week. Unfortunately, I do not have a pithy intro. I do, however, have friends. Thank goodness. I am joined today by the Caped Crusader Audie.
So when cataloging these episodes of Catwoman, it felt like catering to the catatonic minds just looking for catnip. What category could I put these catastrophic episodes in to make you think of more than cattle being driven across a catwalk in order to catapult the most cataclysmic ideals from a practically catcalling Dark Knight? I felt like I was on a catamaran going catawampus on the water, like a catapult of catastrophe was flung at me. Like a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly, I woke from my catnap to learn that Batman's not the full catalog of justice that I thought. Holy cats, at least everyone has its universal antidote pills.
Yes.
The boy wonder Steven.
Hey fellas, one of the henchmen knocked over the bat tripod when they were setting up the Catwoman set. It's pretty ruined. It doesn't stand up straight no more. We can't fix it, so all the shots are crooked. Wait a minute, crooked shots. Like a crooked villain. Ha! That's perfect.
And the butler of stately Wayne Manor, Travis.
Thank you for calling 1-800-HENCHMAN. All your henchman needs in one place. What can I do for you? Oh, hey, Mrs. C. Yo, Charlie, I got the Catwoman on the phone over here. Yeah, no, get Azrael, get Heathcliff, and Felix. Yeah, quick. So, will you be wanting your usual order then? What's that? What, you're working with the Joker? Oh, wow, you must have something pretty big planned. So you want henchmen that are a mix of yours and his? Huh, that's a new one. Well, I can get Giggles and Snickers fitted with some cat ears. That's no problem. And hey, you know what? Just for you, I'm going to toss in Tomcat free of charge. Just remember, he's a package deal with his little mousy buddy there, Jerry. Yeah. No. They've had all their shots this time. No, I remember the debacle from last month. I sincerely apologize for that. That is not how we do business around here. I fed the mook responsible to that fiasco to the Killer Croc. I'll get him sent over right away. Yep. Happy crime.
50 points for working in the word mook.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So in case you couldn't tell, we are wrapping up our recasting month with Batman. We're going back because this is one of my favorite recastings. We are talking specifically tonight about Catwoman, but that is not the only recasting that happened in the run of the 60s Batman. We also had the Riddler. There were probably more. Were there more? I don't know if there were more.
There were like 4 different Mr. Freezes or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember because he was in a suit. No one saw his face ever, I think, half the time. So they just kept casting different people with vaguely German accents and calling them Mr. Freeze.
No one will know. No one.
Exactly.
Does it count as a recasting if you never see their face? Like, does it have the same flair to it?
Not.
I'm not sure. I do know one of them was Otto Preminger.
Yeah.
So we had that going for us.
Yeah. So we started with the original Catwoman, Julie Newmar, a personal favorite of mine. And she was in the first 2 seasons of the television show. The film, which was filmed in between seasons 1 and 2, which because Fox they wanted to do it before to like build up hype for the show, but they were a little hesitant about it. You want to make a what now movie? Now I feel like you go to Hollywood and go, I want to make a Batman movie, and you're like, great, can we do his origin story? Fantastic.
We require pearls falling in slow motion to the
Falling
concrete.
in slow motion because she wears her fakes in public. It's a whole thing.
You really have to knot in between the pearls.
Real pearls are all knotted in between.
Right.
That's why you know that hers are fake. And so Julie Newmar was unavailable to film for the movie, so Lee Merriweather played Catwoman in the movie. And then they did season 2, and then season 3, Julie Newmar had been cast in a film, and so she again could not show up, and so she recommended Eartha Kitt because of her purr, which is a plus. This
Yeah.
is an A plus recommendation.
Yes.
So I like that. I like that different from a lot of the other recastings that we have talked about. Like this was all very chummy recasting that happened. Big fan. A few differences. Julie Newmar, Catwoman, very flirty with Batman.
Very.
Eartha Kitt, it is the 1960s still, and so we are still a little sensitive about interracial couples. And so she is less flirty, which does actually wind up making her a more badass villain because they just take that whole part of it out. She does get to flirt with Cesar Romero because I guess he's just not quite right. So that's fine.
No, it's okay
perfectly
because
fine.
he's insane, so it's okay.
It's fine.
He kept his mustache and put white makeup on it. It's so
It's
whatever.
so good.
Just throw the rules out.
Shout out to the Funko people. However you feel about Funkos, the fact that the Cesar Romero Joker Funko has very visible mustache
Yes.
like carved mustache lines is an A+ move, and they did
Yes.
a good job on that. So the episodes we watched. Do I remember what they're called? No, of course not. The Perfect Crime, right? Perfect Crime. It's Julie Newmar. This was actually Catwoman's introduction to the series. I did kind of give us 2 cliffhanger episodes. Which I thought was pretty good. I'm like, yeah, we're just watching. Well, I mean, we're not gonna watch all 4.
And in fairness, every other episode of this series is a cliffhanger episode.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
It's true. And so we are thrown into Catwoman's stealing these cat statues, these 2 matching cat statues. We don't entirely know why, except that it's going to help her get this treasure, which we know because she's reading a book and laughing about it. There was she did a lot of sitting in a room and laughing, which was good. I was into that. The the cat puns.
Cat puns?
There were
Cat
cat
puns.
puns in this?
There were
I
some
don't
cat puns
recall.
in this. I've never giggled so hard at the word pussy willows though. Largely because what the phrase was, "You can brush my pussy willows before you go," and that is not we.
Yeah.
We don't do that. None of that happens. She did also have cat o' nine tails in there, which I thought I was
She
like, wait a
did.
minute, those aren't all pussy. Wait, those are cat o' nine tails. This is good.
There were some lines and some jokes that sailed right on past the censors. They snuck those in there quite well. Very impressed.
Yeah, it was real good. So Julie Newmar's cat, she has a black cat. Oh, and which was good. Black cats are great. They don't film very well though. So that's why black cats are traditionally less adopted in shelters, is because they don't photograph as well. So when you go on like the website and you're like, this is just a blob with eyes.
Yep.
But Eartha Kitt has an orange idiot on a leash, and I was so happy because at one point she's got him on her lap and he's just like oozing. I was like, yes, this is excellent orange energy.
Orange cats are basically just the clowns of the cat nation. They just
all orange cats share one brain cell collectively.
Yes, they're
so
a
if
hive
it is
mind.
not their day. That's a shame.
Yep.
Well, and I noticed Julie Newmar's cat wasn't your traditional what you would think of as a black cat. It was like a shaggy, longer furred black cat.
Yeah.
And also it on another show that I do, Gore, we have a thing where if like a cat that shows up in a horror movie, because you'll have the cat scare, but we give an extra point if you can tell that somebody kind of tossed the cat into frame. And that definitely happened more than once in this Batman episode. You're like, oh, that cat was thrown. Like,
So, what I like about Catwoman, which appears in both of these episodes, is that she's not going to make it easy on herself to pull off this crime. All right. So she steals the first of the cat statues. Great. Now she's going to go steal the other cat statue. Oh, but she's going to make sure Commissioner Gordon knows that she was the one that took the first one by
Mhm.
sending a newspaper clipping on a tiny kitten to Commissioner Gordon's office.
Hmm.
Now, first of all, his secretary was like, "Hey, a weird guy dropped this off for you. If a weird guy drops off a package for you in Gotham, don't open it."
Yeah.
No,
Especially if
never,
you're
never
the
open that.
police commissioner. What are we
That's what
doing?
I'm saying.
That's what happened to the last guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just like, "Oh, a kitten.
Yeah.
Great.
How cute.
Just what I wanted." And it has
Nowadays,
the
that
note.
that kitten would have rabies and it would have
Yeah.
attacked him immediately.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we're grimdark now. and
Yes.
Batman-
Batman's more brooding
Oh
than
no,
ever.
this cat is radioactive.
The Batman we've
no.
got in this show sleeps at night and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of napping and sleeping in all of these episodes. Um so great. Great. We find out where the other cat statue is being held, and everything gets a little fuzzy in my head after this. I'm very unprepared for this show and I'm excited about it.
All I wanted to
Um,
bring up, the only note I have for you, Amy, is that the beginning of the
Yes.
show, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but there was basically John Hamm's dad was playing that security guard. Because that
Yeah.
dude looked just like John Hamm, maybe
Yeah,
a
he did.
little pudgier.
Oh.
And I was real
Yeah.
happy just to see, hey, what are you? And then he was gone. That's the only note I have in my notes, other than Batman is awesome. And we should do
Batman
this
is
always.
awesome.
Should fit
I
Batman
do
into
like that
everything.
the introduction of Catwoman is the very classic cat claw as a
Mhm.
glass
Oh
cutter.
yeah, glass
Mhm.
cutter.
I was real
Um,
annoyed when it was just the hammer. I was like, wait a minute, this is lazy. And then her finger comes out. I'm like, oh, I'm better. Now I'm
Um,
happy.
I also liked that towards the end of it when she gives him the door number 1, door number 2.
Yes.
This is a fun little Easter egg. She says, "So what'll it be? The lady,
The
or
lady
the tiger?"
tiger.
The Lady or the Tiger is the title of the first appearance of Catwoman in Batman the Animated Series. That's the
Yeah.
episode title. So I was like that. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Also, my favorite moment though in the Julie Newmar episode, 100% absolute favorite moment, is Batman and Robin get back to the Batcave, and he gets out of the car and he's talking to Alfred, and he says, "Can you help Robin with the whatever at the back end of the Batmobile?" And he goes over to his little science kit and starts doing science and puts gloves on over his gloves.
Yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
After already handling the beaker,
Yeah.
he sets it down, puts the gloves on, and then grabs the tongs and picks the beaker up because he needed the gloves to hold the tongs.
Yeah.
To make
that-
it less just radioactive enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just need to be
Oh.
slightly radioactive so that the what was it? Not bat radar.
No. Was it the bat
how did-
tracker?
Was it that bat beam? There's so
No,
many.
Well, there was the
that was
bat
good.
beam.
That was good.
He just called it like a traceable radioactive gas. I don't think he had
okay.
a specific name for
But
it.
it was the bat scope or
gas.
something. Whatever it
Yeah.
was, they were going to track from the Batmobile, and I love
Oh,
the way
yeah.
he said it.
So good.
My favorite part was when they're in the car and he's telling Robin to buckle his safety
Buckle up.
belt.
I was just gonna say
seatbelt.
we got a very good seatbelt PSA
So good.
in the middle. I wanted him to do it like the real dad way, right? Which is the the car won't start unless you buckle your seatbelt.
No, he did it in the
Someday-
citizen guilt way. Someday
Someday-
you're going to have to drive this thing. You need to do it the
Or
right,
or
correct
other
way.
vehicles.
Mhm.
Yes, or other vehicles. Well, we got the great moment though where he's waiting in line and the guy calls him over. He's like, "You don't have to pay," and he goes, "No, I will pay just like every other citizen here."
Mhm.
Yeah.
That
There's a
was
lot of
classic Adam West Batman.
It's the
The only thing
best
better would have
Batman.
been him to give the little salute and say, "Citizen."
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bit of a different thing for that in the Eartha Kitt episode when Batgirl shows up to save the day and she's like, "Well, terrible traffic, we almost died. Where were you?" And she's like, "Well, terrible rush hour traffic and the lights are against me. You wouldn't have wanted me to speed, would you?
Yeah.
Batman's like, well, you make a good point,
Yeah.
but also,
Yeah,
like,
that was the best part. You make a good point, but maybe a little speeding.
It's just amazing how good this show is in its corniness. And if you were to
Yes.
remake this today in its HD glory, I would watch every
I
episode
would
that
watch
came
it.
on.
Absolutely.
Every
It's
you
so
find the people with the same energy as these folks. I'm there, like
If
announcer
you
at the
know, like,
beginning
if
and
you go
all.
into it knowing what you're doing, like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah,
because it's
go
so
hard.
earnest.
yeah.
It's so earnest and so cheeseball. Like
Mhm.
my favorite moment in the Eartha Kitt episode, because that the whole bit at the beginning with the Joker and he's wearing a different suit and he's leaving the penitentiary and he's got to do like the fake like put his hands up and be like, "Come on, you gotta give him something. They'll think we're working together." But the best moment in that episode is when the gunshot goes off into the commissioner's office and they all drop to the deck and Batman and Robin pull out their little scooters,
Bat
put it under their
dollies.
chest, the little dollies, and then scoot around on the floor.
Oh,
I
no.
lost it. It was so
He
good.
had a name for it. He was bat creeping across the
Yes.
floor. I made a note of that one because that one he named. It's like, I will bat creep over to the window while you do this. It's like, oh my gosh, you named it. You named it.
So
you named
good.
Of course he named it.
So
They have
So-
the
good.
universal antidote pills. And
Right.
then Batgirl has her own antidote pills that are different.
Mhm.
So there used to be, I don't know if they still have survived in the apocalypse that is Twitter. But there was bat labels and all it
Yes.
was just images of labeled things from 60s Batman. It was
Mhm.
very good.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
So the Julie Newmar episode leaves us with her tracing the cat statue, which presumably is some sort of map thing happening,
Mhm.
Mhm.
which I mean, those are two identical statues. I don't know that you needed both, but what do I know? There could be more to it. I didn't watch the other episode. I don't remember.
Spoiler alert, there's not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the Eartha Kitt episode, Joker is getting out of prison. Fantastic. Bruce Wayne is there because he is a big supporter of the Gotham prison.
Well, head
Gives
of the
them a
parole
lot of
board.
Mhm.
Yeah, yes. And so they've given Joker a nice tan suit and he offers Commissioner Gordon a cigar. Bruce Wayne doesn't I never touch tobacco. He doesn't drink either. He
Yeah,
was
he's
straight
The
edge before.
teetotaler.
Yeah, he was straight edge
Yeah.
before it was cool.
And it's I love the way he puts it too. I don't use tobacco in any form.
In any form, yeah.
In any form. Bruce Wayne just with like some chaw would actually be all right.
Going down to the
With his
convenience
bat
store.
spittoon.
Just got some skull in my back pocket. Every one of his back
Yeah.
pants has a circle in his back pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very
So the Joker lights the cigar, and then he's like, I expected that to explode.
You think?
And yet you still took,
took
and put it in your mouth. Listen, cigar's a cigar. So the whole plan is that they're like, oh, I wonder who's gonna pick him up. I don't know.
Let's watch.
Let's watch. I feel like we maybe should have set that up ahead of time. Anyway, Catwoman rolls up in, I believe that's I forget what that car is called.
The
Oh,
Catmobile.
that car.
It's
Yeah,
yeah.
oof. Not
It's
ostentatious at all. I mean, real.
No, blends
No.
right in. It's
Because
very
when I think
green
of cats,
also.
I think of the color green.
Green.
Yeah.
Lime green fur.
What?
I don't know.
Not
Just
easy getting
day
green.
glow green.
If
yeah,
the
so the
lights go
idea-
out, you can still see it. It glows in the dark.
So the idea is that Catwoman's gonna pick him up, but make it look like she's kidnapping him.
Mhm.
You know, outside of the prison where there's no security whatsoever and no one will ever catch them. Okay, great. So they're gonna do a heist together. I love a good team up. These two are a good team. As Travis's intro intimated, they've got some crossover henchmen together.
Mhm.
I'm sad. I don't think any of the henchmen were wearing shirts with their names on it in this one.
Yeah.
I don't
Not
think
this
that.
No.
I really like when they wear the shirts with their names on them. It's very good.
It is very good.
And so the idea that this, all right. So Julie Newmar just told them the crime that she was committing, so that they could try and catch her. Great. So Eartha Kitt's plan, and she straight up says like, well, if it's not difficult, like what are we even doing? Like, and I respect that
Mhm.
on a
Mhm.
deeply personal level. Um, so the idea is that some dude from the way back times buried a whole bunch of gunpowder somewhere. Okay.
Mhm.
They're gonna go find it. Okay. But the thing is, then they're going to blow a hole into the reserve that you could drive a truck into. And then we're going to drive a truck into it. We're going to loot the place.
Yep.
And so Joker does very reasonably point out, like, we could just get some dynamite, though. And she's
Mhm.
like, no. There's an artistry to it. And we have standards.
There's a way we do things, and that is not it.
And listen, I could listen to her forever. Honestly, if she told me that, I would be like, yes, you're absolutely correct. No, you know what? You're right. What was I thinking? I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. You're right. We should just go find this very old gunpowder that I'm sure is fine. I'm sure it's fine. Don't even worry about it. So they've got a poem that leads to the clues, which are in a nightshirt, the hem of a nightshirt, and a crib. I what? Why?
The most
Why?
random of things.
Okay,
Mhm.
those are very random things.
I also made a note. I loved when she reads him the poem,
Mm-hmm.
and the nerds writing this particular episode give Joker the line, "The iambic pentameter is a bit off."
Yeah,
Yes.
I was like,
yeah.
wow.
So the nightshirt is apparently in the possession of some hotshot, like, music executive
Mm-hmm.
who has an agent. It was all,
It's real fuzzy.
I don't. Yeah, it
That
was a little
needs to
fuzzy.
have a different face for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, he needs to be hip.
So he had
Okay.
that weird Friar
The
Tuck
weird beard
haircut.
and yeah,
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be like a record producer
yeah,
back in the 60s.
yeah.
The 60s
So
were
'Cause he makes
weird,
the-
man. Like, what are
I'm
we
willing
even
to bet
doing?
that there's probably like a very specific reference
Oh, I'm
that
sure.
is just sailing harmlessly over our heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I
Um,
think I could be down with the fashion and hair of the 70s forward coming back. But the 60s, no. Like, whatever happened then, let's just leave it
Oh,
there.
girls' fashion in the '60s was A plus.
Okay, I'm
Very,
sorry.
very flowy and
Hairy,
yeah.
weird chin beard men can
I mean,
stay there.
there was some questionable stuff.
Yeah, the dudes needed some help. But the ladies look nice.
Now, I did my college internship at the New England Textile History Museum, and I'm gonna let you know, a nightshirt that is that old is not going to be in wearable condition.
Nah.
No.
Considering the clue was falling apart practically.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the poem was already falling apart and you're not gonna, like, are we presuming that people washed and wore and washed this garment for 200 years? Seems like,
Yeah, I don't think that
but whatever,
happened.
that's fine. So this dude, this was the weirdest thing, right? Because they're like, his agent, which was weird, was like, "Oh, who are you recording tonight? Oh, it's this new guys I just picked, I just found 20 minutes ago." But he's going to bed.
Yeah.
Are we napping? Have we put on pajamas to nap? Because that's hardcore. Is this just a nap heavy world that we live in? Was Batman trying to bring back the nap?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, I
He was
would have
napping
been
in
all right
both
with it.
episodes, so
That's what I'm saying. So, Catwoman and Joker and the assorted henchmen show up to steal the thing. Oh, so this episode we did get Barbara Gordon,
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Batgirl. There's a really good Batgirl episode in which Bruce has to have a conversation with young Dick about his growing body, which is just a wild episode.
Lord.
Wild, because he talks about it. I think it's in a Julie Newmar season, and he talks about Batgirl and Catwoman, and how he's very appreciative of how they appear. It's a wild time. It is uncomfortable.
Mark
great.
Wright, the way he's thinking about her in this episode, good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, and
Woman's
in this episode,
Inborn
Bur-
desire to outsmart men. It's like,
Yeah.
thanks, Mr. Chauvinistic Batman.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Now I do
yeah.
what I love about this though, right? Is like, yeah, he's super like, okay, this girl. And she's like, yeah, crystals and tea leaves. And yeah, that's what we're doing.
Mhm.
Loved it. And he's just like, yes, of course. Of course
Yeah.
that's what you're doing. Ah, so foolish not to think of that.
Yeah.
Dumb. So dumb. So she goes in and like steals part of the clue. Okay. So she knows where they're going because she manages to find the home and the microfeet, whatever. So she's the one who sends Batman and Robin there. Batman and Robin show up. There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of throwing of pedestals. There's a lot
Yes.
of damaging of
Chairs and-
expensive furniture.
This
Also-
is the craziest apartment I've ever seen. Like
Mhm.
it's definitely not a movie set. Like definitely not. It's most assuredly the inside of an apartment with 15-foot ceilings and weird orange and green
100% not a
spotlights.
sound stage.
Not
No.
a soundstage.
I also loved how little Louis is an expert in karate. And then Catwoman's like, just let him yell, because once he can't yell, he can't do karate anymore.
Oh, yeah,
Karate's
that
only
was,
effective
Only
when you
effective
yell.
with yelling.
oh,
Mhm.
that was rough. Okay.
It's fine. Everything's
Oh.
fine. It was a different time.
I feel
everybody.
like that was a very very loosely veiled jab at Bruce Lee of all
Yes.
Probably.
people. And that yeah.
Look, you jab at Bruce Lee, that'll be the last jab you jab. You know,
Well,
like
it does make me wonder if this was before or after the Batman Green Hornet crossover, because that did
Oh.
exist.
all right.
Yeah,
Maybe.
there was a crossover between Batman and the Green Hornet, with Bruce Lee as Kato in the Green Hornet. So
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, they're almost the same character.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it wasn't done with love, though. Even if it
Oh,
wasn't yet,
sure.
like it,
Oh sure, yeah.
Mhm.
Could have been.
yeah, but it was uncomfortable, and also that guy's stamina was very low.
Mm-hmm.
It was
And
like
Yes.
5 hayas, and that was it.
Yeah.
And that was the part I was like,
I just like that he had a
Okay.
Austin Powers level spinning bed, which just cracked me up to no end. I was like, "That's real.
Mhm.
Those were real. Okay,
Yeah.
what purpose
the-
did they serve? I would like to hang out with someone and also throw up. That sounds like a great night."
And he had the giant gold record above the bed
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that could swing.
Yep.
There was a lot because you need to have like a certain level of destroyable furniture for Batman and Robin.
Mhm.
Yes, there's
You
there's
can't, and
going
this
to
is
be
a
a
nice
fight
apartment.
with henchmen.
We can't have a pile of boxes in a warehouse
Right.
situation. 'cause
Right.
we're in a
That
nice
trope can
apartment.
only take you so far. You've got to mix it up a little bit. So we'll get some fake vases in here and
Mhm.
Mhm.
some collapsible chairs.
$11,000 of damage they did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So they get suckered. Batman and Robin get suckered by Joker because Joker's like, "Listen," Catwoman's like, "You gotta say something. You gotta trick him." So he's like, "All right, well, listen." She told me about this prank we're gonna pull, and I was like, "She's gonna this hip cat, and we're gonna steal the cat's pajamas." And you know me, I just can't help it. I love a practical joke. Oh heck!
Because remember, at the
Cesar
beginning of the
Romero, so
episode, right? But at the beginning of the episode, we were told Joker's been on his best behavior for several months now.
I mean,
Yeah.
fully
Clearly,
reformed.
he's reformed.
Months.
I mean,
Months.
they're in and out of that prison.
It's
I'm
just a
feeling like the
revolving
parole
door.
board might be a little lax.
Yeah, I don't think it works. I think the recidivism rate is far too high.
It's very high.
You feel like somebody would have questioned Bruce Wayne being on the patrol board or parole board at some point and be like, "You're letting a lot of these criminals out very quickly,"
Oh,
and then Batman
is he
seems to
just
put them right back in.
bored? Is this it?
Mm-hmm.
He's
We
just
figured it out.
bored, so he's like, let's let him back out.
I need
He's
something
the
to do this
cat.
weekend.
Just wants to play with his So
Dick Grayson keeps wanting to go to college, and I got to find a way to keep him at home.
we can't afford that.
Yeah.
$20.
Dick, you can't leave the house. I need you to help me fight crime.
Don't leave me here alone with what's her name?
And Harriet.
Aunt Harriet.
Aunt Harriet.
Mhm.
Don't leave me alone with Aunt Harriet and Alfred. I need someone to talk to.
Oh,
To play
And play
4-dimensional
4D chess.
chess. You just have to be 14 steps ahead, Robin.
that's all.
He's so
For-
condescending.
Oh
God,
no.
so
Mhm.
good. Oh, it's not. And the best response to that, right, is I'll just stick to Latin crossword puzzles.
Yeah.
You guys are a hoot. Maybe you should drink. I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like I'm not one to pressure anyone who says they don't drink. Like by all means don't drink, but maybe in this particular
Just-
instance you guys
You're just at home, you
let loose a
know.
We
little
need something
bit.
a little harder than the milk and cookies Aunt Harriet had. for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. Try a kombucha. It'll
Oh,
be fine.
There's so much underlying psychology in Batman. It's painful. Why does Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne still like milk and cookies? Because he's still a 7-year-old child. That's why. We don't have to go into that, but
No,
he's
it's
got some
fine.
stuff going on there.
I mean, they take a fire pole down.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, if I was 7, that's what I would want. Get dressed every
I
morning
mean-
on a fire pole.
That said, if I had Bruce Wayne money, I'd probably put a fire pole.
If I ever
Yeah,
have
fire
Bruce
pole.
Wayne money, a spiral
Yeah, you can do
staircase and a
whatever I
flower.
want.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
The
gonna be
fastest car in the city is mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a water slide out my bedroom window.
And I'm going to dress in costume to go to my clubhouse
Yes.
every single time.
Yeah.
I will not
Why
be
not?
in that area unless I am in costume.
No,
That's
because
right.
it's not.
Yeah.
We all learned. We know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just reasonable rich guy behavior.
It's
You gonna do
totally
something
normal.
helpful? No, absolutely not. So, Joker wants to shake their hands. Look, it was just pranks, man. I mean, it's just pranks. We're just doing pranks. And
Mhm.
honestly,
Batman, don't shake his hand.
no.
Yeah.
And honestly, the only reason that anything got damaged in that apartment was because Batman showed up.
It's true.
Not
If
wrong.
Batman had not shown up, they would have taken his shirt, which whatever, and then it would have been fine. But
Because there
no,
were several
Batman.
things that Batman grabbed and broke over somebody's head.
Yeah. Captain Collateral Damage.
Yeah.
policy.
And then he's all like, "Don't worry, it'll get taken care of."
It'll get taken care
Yet
of.
he tells the Catwoman and Joker they'll be paying it off for a long time. It's like, well, dude needs his money like now, man.
Now.
Yeah. They don't have
Yeah.
money in prison. They make at that time probably 2 cents a day. They can't pay that off
Yeah.
unless you let them out
Well,
again.
877 cash now.
Oh,
So-
no, now it's in my head forever. Oh gosh, I have to sing the whole thing.
So they go and Batman and Robin decide to shake Joker's hands at the same time, as you do.
Gotta know
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Oh, it's his lethal hand buzzers.
Mhm.
Their 5 senses are going to leave them, and then their lungs are going to collapse, and then death.
Yeah.
And at this point in this episode, I was kind of like, you guys deserved it.
Yeah.
You guys have done nothing to prevent this from
You
happening.
let the
get
Joker
out your-
out, and then this is where you ended up, and you're shocked.
Yep. You
Just get on your
you
bat
talk
creeper
smack
and-
to you talk smack to Batgirl,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where you wound up. So great. So Joker, they're like, "Oh, I wish we could stay, but we gotta go."
Mhm.
Typical. So Batgirl shows up, pulls out her Batgirl Universal Antidote pills.
Well, hold
Uh,
on. How
alright.
many beats per minute was Batman's heart beating?
3.
3 beats
Which she
per
did
minute.
not. She was not. She didn't take his pulse long enough to even know. Like
No.
reality of 3 beats per minute aside, she didn't. She wouldn't have. Not even one.
Yeah, no.
Like
No, she had no idea. She just, like, who wrote that in the script? It's like, what's an extremely low heart rate? You could have said 45. I mean, 40. Less than that. But 3? Who goes to single digits? What are you doing?
Because in the 60s, we didn't care about blood pressure. So nobody knew what they were talking about.
everything's fine.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't
that's-
know.
that's
Is his
fair.
heart beating? Sometimes. Well, he's probably not dead.
Yeah. I mean, they were twitching.
Yeah,
You know,
it seems
Yeah.
they weren't
kinda.
cold yet. You know, it's
Yeah.
what we really look for.
So when she pulls out her universal antidote pills and gives them to Batman and Robin, and you cannot convince me that these were not Altoids.
The best thing I've
This is-
ever
this-
seen.
Or like my grandma was diabetic and she had this jar of saccharin tablets. Remember saccharin
Yeah.
tablets?
Yes.
That's
I do.
that's what I'm kind of thinking those were. He's
I-
fine. Just give him some saccharin.
I really miss the trope of poisons and antidotes from television and movies. Like, used to, there was always, oh, he's eating the poison. Get him the antidote. When's the last time you saw poison and antidote, like, in a film or TV show? We need to bring that back. I'm not going to be happy till I see a movie in the next 2 years where someone eats a poison and someone's got, I have the antidote. I need to give you.
Preferably if they're like, I like a good timed one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, you've been poisoned and now you've got 24 hours. Oh.
Yeah.
I just recently watched Mission Impossible 2 because I've been going through the movies, and that was the plot of Mission Impossible 2.
Oh, yeah, that's
was
right.
The poison of Chimera and the
Mhm.
antidote of Bellerophon.
That's right.
And it was time released. You had 20 hours before it was irreversible, and you just basically melted. But that was the whole plot of that entire thing, was just he was gonna unleash it on everybody.
It was
And
silly,
so it
but
was totally-
man, it was cool. John Woo can't do much wrong in my mind. Like slow
I
mo.
have my own I have my own opinions on Mission Impossible 2. I'll save that for a different show.
Yeah, fair enough. John Woo directed Batman 1966. Batman, or it would have been my jam. I'd have watched that. You know?
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh, I love John Woo. Love John Woo.
doves and everything. But he'd be bats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, flying out of
Yeah.
the cave. Big hero shot. Been great.
So yeah, so then we find out that we get the lowdown from Batgirl that, oh well, she's got this poem and it's got these clues, and the clues are on the shirt which they got, and the crib which she somehow knows is with oh, I should have written down how they described him, but he's a fashion designer.
Yeah.
And he was he had the crib, which okay,
For some reason.
for some reason.
This episode was
Because-
definitely slapped together.
Yeah, it was real slapped together. Like we need to, it was like, it's a Mad Libs, right?
Yes.
like noun, nightshirt,
Bat
Noun.
libs.
crib. Great, we're done here, everybody.
We've created a
Bat
mystery.
libs. That needs to exist now.
libs
We
would be
need we
good.
need
Mhm.
bat libs.
Yeah, some sort of Batman plot generator device. Insert one villain or two villains.
This is what happens when you let AI write. So
Oh, that's the next prompt. Please write me a 1966 Batman episode.
Batman.
Thank you.
it's the one time I think he could maybe pull it off
Yeah.
in a
Like, yes,
reasonable way.
this
Mhm.
is believable.
So they go, the Catwoman and Joker have already been there. They've already taken the crib that this guy had. He's passed out under a pile of clothing on his couch. He's like, well, they just left. I'm surprised you didn't see them. Will
By the way,
this...
what accent did that guy have?
It's unknowable.
I don't know.
Because I was trying to figure out what the was it
I
a
don't think he
was
knew.
it an English person? Was it an American
he was
trying to do an English
so
accent?
He was
it
from Londinia.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, of
Well,
course.
So
Mhm.
that's where you're from if your English accent is not particularly good.
I suppose that he did have an
know, like-
authentic Londinian accent.
Yeah, when I complain about Skyrim accents, it's the same. It's the same thing. It's fine. So yeah, so same cat time, same cat channel, and we'll find out what happened. So these are two very different Catwomen, and yet
Mhm.
similar, but different. Do you have a preference, knowing that they are both very good? Because we're gonna just establish they are both very good. Neither of them are bad.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is not like a.
Mhm.
This is not like a. Well, this isn't. This is not my Catwoman. No, we're not. No. Do you have a favorite Catwoman, Travis?
I do, and it is Julie Newmar.
Mm-hmm.
I just Julie Newmar. Look. I was a very young man when I watched the show.
What
I
do you
was-
mean, Travis?
I was entering puberty, and well, Julie Newmar in a cat suit. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm not
mean-
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Understood.
Steven, you did Julie Newmar.
No, believe it
Oh,
or
no?
not. Yeah,
Nice.
so my exposure to Eartha Kitt was Ernest Scared Stupid as Old Lady Hackmore. Y'all remember that?
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
out of these two, Eartha
Yeah.
Kitt had me from the get. I'm just, you know what? I just like her. And Julie Newmar,
She's great.
it didn't work for me. But in all honesty, my preference was Lee Merriweather in the Batman movie. Out of the episodes I've seen, and that movie I watched just a million times, so it's hard for me to unhook Lee Merriweather from as Catwoman in my
Sure.
brain. So there could be a little bit of that going for it. It's just that's the Catwoman that I remember. If I were to watch them all back to back, maybe I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, Julie Newmar or
Sure.
whatever. But yeah, Lee Merriweather's my Catwoman. But out of these two, I enjoyed Eartha Kitt's performance the most.
My exposure to Eartha Kitt prior to watching old Batman was her rendition of Santa Baby. It's like
Oh.
a favorite of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mine at
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, there you go.
It is the version of Santa Baby. All
Sure.
others need not apply. Audie, how about you?
I am definitely planting my flag for Eartha Kitt. Like,
There you go.
Nice.
I always liked her as the most distinctive Catwoman.
Yeah.
And I definitely felt her channeling that in Emperor's New Groove as the voice of Yzma.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, when it comes to Catwoman, Eartha Kitt's the one I always think of first.
Nice. It was one of my favorite things, like when Halle Berry was going to be Catwoman, and all the people who are not real fans but need to be angry about things were like, a black Catwoman, and you're like, yes, for many decades now.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
Like-
what you're mad
We're not
about.
blazing a new trail here,
No,
people.
Right.
Sit down. You're just
And-
racist. It's okay.
Yeah.
Who knew that was going to be the least of their problems with that movie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Um,
not
The
a
less we
good
talk
time.
about that movie, the better.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, a lot of the usual wrap-up things that we usually talk about, we don't have to do on this particular episode because we are retreading ground here with Batman.
We are.
Which I'm very
Mhm.
excited. So this wraps up the recasting. With a very friendly recast.
It was fun.
So that means that we're starting something new. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
We
exciting.
are.
I think if I looked correctly, I believe it to be. I believe that we're doing Hanna Barbera. Is that what
I thought the
I think
same.
so.
That was the
That is
last.
Oh
the
heck!
that
Woo,
is the
baby.
leader. Technically, there is time left in the poll.
Yeah,
However,
we're
we're gonna
It's
call it right
closed.
now.
So there's 675 Hanna-Barbera characters. We're gonna have a great
Exactly.
time. We can
It's
pick
gonna be
Mhm.
so
one
I
of
saw
them.
this weekend and was already looking up stuff, and the amount of stuff that I was like, "That's Hanna Barbera! Holy
Mhm.
crap! Where can I
Yeah.
find that?"
I know.
There's
It's gonna be
some
tough to
weird
narrow it
stuff.
down.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Mhm.
go find stuff in the corner of the Hanna-Barbera factory, cartoon
When I was
factory.
when I was in my 20s, I was nanny for one of my mom's friends' little girls. And we used to watch Boomerang.
Mhm.
Oh
Um
yeah,
she loved watching Boomerang, which is like all the old Hanna-Barbera, and I would be like, what is even happening right now? Like we are on an acid trip.
yeah.
She's like, "What's acid?" And I'm like, "Don't even worry about it. You are 4. Let's play Pretty Pretty Princess and forget I ever said it." So, um, Trev, you got a pick yet, or we've only just decided? So we're gonna
We
have
have
to.
just decided, and
All right.
I do not have a pick yet
No,
because
I wouldn't
there's so
expect you
much to
There's
to.
choose
two.
from.
Yeah, you got
It's
all the
fast.
things. I think I have mine picked, but I got to see where it goes
Yeah.
or see
I
if I
mean, because
can
that's going to
find
be
it.
the other trick. Yeah, that's going to be the other
Mhm.
trick.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
the fun
Mhm.
part.
We're
Someone
gonna
is
have to get some
streaming
depths.
Hanna-Barbera somethings out. I bet you could
There's
find
stuff.
YouTube probably has 1,000 Hanna-Barbera cartoons, you know?
Mhm.
There's
Sure.
plenty out there. What I will say is that had we not done it previously, I would do Scooby Doo of some form
Mm,
because
Sure.
that was Scooby Doo was my jam.
yeah.
I had plush Scooby Doos. I dressed as Shaggy for Halloween one year, like all that kind of stuff. But we've done it, and so I am going to find something else Hanna Barbera to go with.
My goal is, whether I've seen it or not, my goal is to find the weirdest thing I can find. I will admit that a large portion of my Hanna-Barbera knowledge comes from Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, I completely forgot about that
Mhm.
corner of the world. You know, like I was thinking about a few different things, but I didn't even Harvey Birdman and
Yeah.
stuff.
Just go to
Look,
C-Lab.
Wikipedia and look at Hanna Barbera stuff, and then you're gonna
C-Lab.
yeah,
be like,
So
"Holy
here's the
crap!"
so that's a tricky loophole, right? Because C-Lab 2020 was Hanna-Barbera, and
Yeah.
so C-Lab 2021 is the parody one, but there is one original episode. They redubbed all the voices, like they redid all the voices with the new
Mm.
characters, but it's just the old episode. That was the first episode of that show I had ever seen, and I was very, I I had gotten in on a weird place.
C Lab was my jam. There's still some episodes of now
I love
2021, you
C-Lab.
know. C Lab
Yeah.
2021.
Oh, I
That
quote it
just
all the time.
it lives in my brain rent free. I'll go on and on about octopus and its steppy claws
Easy
and all
Bake
that
Oven.
stuff.
It's
Easy bake happy
Mhm.
cake oven. Yeah.
the Happy Cake Oven.
Yeah, Stormy knows my dirty
yep.
secret. Yeah, I know. I love it. I'm in. Oh man.
I mean, C
Okay.
Lab, Space Ghost, Coast to Coast.
Yep.
Watched a
Mhm.
lot of Space Ghost, Coast to
Me
Coast.
and me and Space Ghost George Lowe are like this. Not really, but I talk to him every time I go to Dragon Con. He's great.
So
Wonderful
yeah,
people.
there's a lot of weird stuff,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of racist stuff.
Oh,
Everything's
yeah.
great. I'm
I'm
very
so
excited about
overwhelmed.
all of this. There's a lot of options, everybody.
This is
Thank
gonna be
you,
fun.
voters, for the Hanna-Barbera pick. It'll be
Yeah. Oh boy,
good.
this is gonna be.
Oh my! I'm fine. Oh jeez.
Mhm.
The Fonz and the Happy Days Gang was
Yep.
Oh
a Hanna
yeah.
Barbera cartoon.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
Lord, we're in trouble.
Laverne and
We're in
Shirley in the
so much
Army.
trouble.
Mhm.
Oh, I
There's
forgot
weird
about
things.
the Quickie Koala show.
Everything is very weird.
Johnny Quest,
Good
Secret
Lord.
Squirrel.
Uh-huh.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
we're toast, y'all. We're gonna be going through this forever.
Yeah.
We'll be
So,
revisiting Hanna
Yeah.
Barbera
oh,
for sure.
absolutely. Absolutely. This is the first go around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
we're in trouble.
yeah. But so we'll figure out what we're gonna watch for next week, and we will let you know on the socials or in the
It will go up,
Discord
yes.
or the wherevers that you find us, or you can just show up and find out what weird thing we watched and
Yeah,
be
That
surprised.
too.
it'll be a
Mhm.
great time.
You know. I think that's everything that we've got for this week. Yeah, boys?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we've covered
Sounds
it.
good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Travi, do you want to give all the info that I don't know?
Yeah. Look, we will be posting what we're watching for next week, and anything to do with the show on Twitter at Those Days Show. You can email us those were the days show at gmail.com. You can also go to the Two Dorks Discord, and we have a Those Were the Days channel there. I believe that is twodorks.com/discord.
twodorks.net/discord.
.net. So definitely check that out. And yeah, we will be back next week with Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and I'm gonna find something fun.
It's going to be good.
I'm
So
strap in.
join us, same cat time, same cat channel, for myself, for Travis, for Audie, and for Steven. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
You
Bye-bye.
feline devil.
What the heck is this show?
The
What is
list
this
of
show?
works produced by Hanna-Barbera Wikipedia has a
Mhm.
column